lived a beautiful life. You lived 88 years, and we got so much more to go. What advice would you give to someone who like wants to live, 88 plus years, like just like live long and enjoy life and those types of things, have different experiences? Good morning. It is Sunday, July 6th. Okay, you put your glasses. Sunday, July 6th, we are at the 83rd National Solomon Family Reunion in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm here with John William Augustus Solomon Sr.,
right?
My dad.
Right.
I am Jonathan William Solomon. And I was just like, I got my dad here, and we just gonna ask some questions. Dad, how old are you?
88.
88.
Yeah.
88. And so I'm just trying to soak up as much wisdom as possible. It's a little warm out here, so we're not gonna stay here too long. So I just asked you, how is it like being at a family reunion? And you told me it's pretty cool to meet people, interact with people and all that. My question would be, growing up in Cleveland, there were, who are all your siblings?
Sonny, Homer Solomon Jr., Robert Solomon, Clarence Solomon, right, and Edith.
Yep.
Edith Solomon.
And that's baby sister?
Yeah.
Baby sister.
Right.
Okay. So in ages, I know Homer, Uncle Sonny is oldest. Where are you?
I'm the second oldest.
Second oldest.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
And your parents, so Homer Sr. and Ruby.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Right.
How was it like growing up with your parents?
It was nice. It was real nice. They taught us. They taught us well. I remember that they taught us well. Yeah.
What did your parents do for work?
My father was he worked in the steel mill, and my mother was a homemaker, and she did hair.
Okay.
Beautician.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I know you went to the Army early.
Yeah.
What motivated you to go to the Army instead of going to the steel?
Well, during the 50s, it was kind of hard for the black boys to find jobs. So I thought I'd go to the Army.
Yeah.
Right. It was getting kind of, hard. There was a lot of crime.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd just go into the Army.
Yeah.
Right.
And did all your brothers go in the Army?
No, just Bobby and Clarence.
Okay.
They followed me into the Army.
Okay. So okay.
Right.
All right. And you said there was a lot of crime in the 50s in Cleveland.
Right.
Was that around the Huff race?
Right. It was off. We lived on the Huff in Belvedere, 66 and Huff.
Okay.
Right. It was kind of hard for black kids to find anything, to do when you got out of school.
Yeah.
So I just joined the Army.
Yeah. And I think it's funny. So you grew up in that time, 66 in Huff area, Belvedere, and then I feel like I moved. We lived in different places around in Cleveland, but mostly concentrated around East 79th and Huff.
Yeah.
So almost same neighborhood.
Right.
And you were over by the school there is MLK now, Martin Luther King School.
That was 71st. That was 71st.
Yeah.
It was in 66 and Huff.
Yeah.
Right.
So, do you have a favorite place that you've lived ever?
I lived in Minnesota. I lived in California. But favorite was in California.
That was my favorite too.
Right. Right.
Why was California your favorite place to live?
The weather. The weather.
Yeah.
But Minnesota, it got cold.
Yeah.
But California was my favorite.
Yeah.
I stayed there for 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Minnesota was even colder than Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, especially during those winters.
Yeah.
I love Minnesota. and two of my brothers are still there, and Vance was there too.
Yeah.
So it would have been three of my brothers, and Dad, and us in Minnesota.
Right.
And then Vance went to California, went out to California too.
That's why I went.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. What else is there? So when you came back from, talk a little bit about the Army, like just like where you served.
South Carolina. My second 8 weeks of basic training was, my first 8 weeks of basic training was in Fort Lauderdale, Kentucky. My second 8 weeks of basic training was in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. We trained there and took a battalion over to Germany. And I spent 3 years in Germany with 371st Armored Infantry Battalion. Right.
You ain't gonna never forget that.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. That was a good time in my life. I learned a lot by being in the Army. It taught me something. You know.
Yeah. What type of stuff did you learn by being in the Army?
Leadership. Right. Taking orders. You know.
That's good. That's good. And how did you like Germany? Like, what was it like having been in America, like, you know, being from Cleveland, then you went to the military, you spent some time in Kentucky, South Carolina, and then going over to Germany. Like, what was that like?
It was different, you know. There was still from the Second World War, there was still some burned down places, you know. They hadn't been constructed over again. There's a lot of been new construction, but a lot of places that hadn't been constructed. And it was a learning experience.
It's you know, so Jasmine was born in Germany.
Yeah,
she was born in Berlin.
You told me.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, and then like when you came back to America after, and that was during the Korean War.
Yeah.
Right. So so when you came back to America after, and you at that point did you like leave the like military?
When I came back from Germany, I spent 6 months in Fort Lauderdale, Kansas.
Okay.
And then I got out.
Okay.
Right.
And then what did you do after that?
I went to the post office.
Okay. And you met my mom while you were in postal service.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. On Star, right? In Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Right.
So, do you have any like? How was I as a kid? Like as a young kid?
You were studious. You read. You played your little instrument. Mm-hmm. You know, you was a good kid. I didn't have no problems with you. You know, you was a good kid. I tried to give you what you wanted. You know. Right.
And I appreciate that because I always felt like, so one thing that I always say as a kid, and you may remember this differently, but I never remember you ever whooping me.
No, never had to.
Yeah, but I always felt like it was like a respect thing. So I felt like I didn't do things because like I didn't want to disappoint you, or like, so I felt like I tried to make sure that I was doing right because I was like, if I don't want to disappoint my dad. And so like I felt like I would know your face when you were disappointed, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Right on.
So I don't need a whooping. It's like if I was disappointing you, like that was enough for me. Yeah, so okay.
Right.
Yeah. And I would say like if you've had 88 years of life. Is there anything that you would like, if you could go back and do things over, like is there anything that you would do over?
No. I would do nothing over. Everything was perfect.
I like that.
Right.
So I like to live like that too. It's just like everything happened for a reason. Right. All the good, all the bad, it all happened for a reason.
The Lord was in my life. Yeah. You know, He guided me.
Yeah.
He took care of me. That's when we went to California. He made sure I had enough money for us, you know. I could give you what you wanted, you know.
Yeah.
He took care of us.
Yeah. So I think the last thing I'll ask you is, like, because you've lived a beautiful life, you lived 88 years, and we got so much more to go. What advice would you give to someone who like wants to live, 88 plus years, just like live long and enjoy life and those types of things, have different experiences?
I would say lean toward the Lord. The Lord will take you, guide your steps.
Yeah.
He will guide your steps.
Yeah.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Right. I thank him for guiding mine.
Yeah.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Right on.
Well, you've heard it. Again, this is my father. Our lineage is from Jones County, Georgia. We found the Clower plantation in Jones County, Georgia, where Betsy Ann and Solomon Clower were, and direct descendant of, John Augustus Sr. is a son of Betsy Ann and Solomon Clower, and John Augustus Sr. was born into slavery, and then his son, John Augustus Jr., then had Homer Solomon Sr., who is
my dad.
Your dad. So you see that we're not so far removed, and then that's my dad. So, yeah. All right. Thanks, Pops. This is it.